Hi everyone, thanks so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Maggie with Mags Made It, and this is my first ever YouTube video. I'm really excited about my new YouTube channel. I decided to make it because my husband and I recently moved into a new apartment, and there's just something about moving into a new place where you just want new stuff. You just don't want the stuff that you have, you just want to get new stuff, but you can't really afford it because you just moved into a new place. So you have to go out and you have to look for affordable things so that you can just make over your whole home. My husband and I were recently married, and for our wedding we were gifted all of our furniture. All of the furniture that we have was given to us by relatives, and we're so thankful for it, but a lot of it was just some hand-me-downs that aren't really in style anymore. And one of the things that we had was a big entertainment center, and I'm really thankful that we had it, but it was too big. It was huge, and it had that area where you're supposed to put the TV in, but our TV was too big. We couldn't fit it in that little box, so we had to just put it on top. And it just wasn't working, it just wasn't stylish, and I was just really sick of it and just ready to get it out. So I was searching Facebook Marketplace for a new TV stand. I wanted something smaller, I wanted something wooden, and I came across this TV stand, and I really liked it, and it was only $30. So I ended up messaging the lady that had the TV stand, and when we got there, she actually gave us a TV stand and a TV. And I didn't notice this until later, but she didn't specify what the ad was for. She just said for sale and took a photo. And so we were like, great, free TV, take it home. And so as soon as we were loading the TV stand into the car, we realized that it just wasn't great. The TV stand was just really damaged. It had a lot of water damage on it. I think what happened is when we picked it up, it was already outside by her front door, and we just picked it up and took it out, but I think she left it outside in the rain, and that gave it a lot of water damage. So I'll post a video of the TV stand when we got home. I'm not sure if you can see in the video, but at the very top there is some swelling for the water damage. It wasn't huge, it was just kind of on the corner, and I didn't really think it was a big deal, and it was kind of hard to see as well. You kind of have to have just the right lighting and just the right angle to be able to see it. There were also pegs missing with the inside shelves, so none of them were standing up straight. I needed about 4 extra pegs. Also, one of the legs were just completely missing, and the other one was totally split in half, and there was just no way to save it. So we took it home. We were pretty discouraged. I was kind of willing to make it work, but my husband was just like, no, I just don't want this. It is just not very high quality, and he just didn't want it. So I knew that it just needed a little bit of TLC. I could fix it up and it could be manageable, but my husband still just didn't want it, so I decided to actually sell it instead and try to see if I can make a profit. So with the water damage up top, I researched and there really isn't a way to fix that. There was some swelling, the wood had swelled, and so there was no way that I'd be able to fix that. So I just made sure to put that in my ad, so I was honest with the person that bought the TV stand. And then for the legs, I knew that that would be a really easy fix, and there's so many leg places out there where you can get it on Etsy, you can get it on Amazon, you can get it at Home Depot. But a concept that I was seeing is the little small feet. They were really expensive. The average that they were selling for was about $5 each, and I needed 8 of them. And so I wasn't willing to spend $40 on just the feet for the TV stand, so I needed to improvise. I knew that there was a wood section in a lot of craft stores at Joann's and Michael's, so I went to one of my local craft stores and I went to the wood section. I was looking for a square or a rectangular wood, and they actually didn't have any, but I found these really cute circular blocks. They actually had the one side sanded down, which I thought would be perfect, and I could just lay it against the bottom of the TV stand. I ended up buying 2 of them. They were around $7 each, so it was $14, which was more than I wanted, but at least it wasn't $40. So I took those home and I just used my black chalk paint. So I painted everywhere except for the portion that was sanded down. That part I was going to screw into the bottom of the TV stand, so it didn't need to be painted. those were done and dry, I decided to just put a covering so if they slid across the ground they wouldn't drag paint and damage the floor. So at first I was thinking of putting some like felt at the bottom, but that just wouldn't be very good, and it would show and it just wouldn't look very good, so I decided to use just some tacks instead. I actually was luckily able to salvage 8 of the tacks from the previous legs. One was completely missing, but the one that was just damaged and broken in half, I was able to use that one as well. For the remaining leg that needed the tack, I actually took a thumbtack. I bought them at Target. They're actually made out of wood instead of plastic, and I just cut half of it off and sanded it down a little bit and then painted the edge black, and it looked exactly like the other tacks. I know that you can get tacks at Walmart and Home Depot and any home goods store, and they're probably pretty cheap, but I just wanted to reuse the ones that I already had. So after that was done, I nailed them into the blocks. I did 3 of them inside just on my kitchen table, and it just wasn't working very well. It was bending and just not really going through the wood, and it was also making a really loud noise, and we have downstairs neighbors, so I decided to take it outside. And I don't know what it is, I think it was the concrete, but it was so much easier to nail them into the blocks of wood when I was outside and on the concrete. It took me a couple of minutes to do the 3 blocks inside, but as soon as I took them outside, it only took me a minute to do the rest of them. So with the pegs that were missing inside, they had little metal pegs, and I guess I could buy those pegs at a home goods store, probably, but I didn't really want to. I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't want to buy anything. Because I was selling it, I wanted to just make do with what I had. So when I took off the leg, the original legs, they had some pegs that were coming out, just some wooden pegs, and they were around the same size as the metal ones. So I just sanded those down a little bit more, and they were really strong and they were really sturdy, so I just used those instead, and it worked really well. So after all of that was done, I was ready to attach the new legs to the TV stand. It took me a little bit to understand how to take it apart, and I was just using a manual screwdriver at first. My husband then reminded me that we actually had an electric one, and it went way faster after that. So I took apart the TV stand. They had 3 boards that I had to kind of take apart, and that was a little bit difficult. I had to maneuver it. I don't really know how to explain it, but it was a little bit hard. Every TV stand is different, the way that you take it apart. You usually just take out a bunch of screws and then it should be good from there. From there, I screwed in the legs to the bottom. I had to remove all of the old ones and then I just screwed them in. At first, I made the mistake of using too short of screws, so I had to do it over again. But the blocks were 2 inches by 2 inches, so I used a 2-inch screw, and with the board that was from the TV stand, it ended up being perfect and very sturdy. After I attached all the new legs, I just reassembled it. From there, I decided to vacuum, and I also polished it with some wood polish. So once that was done, I decided to put the TV stand back on Facebook Marketplace with the new legs. If it weren't for the water damage with the TV stand, I would have been able to make a pretty good profit, but the water damage did bring down the value. When I posted it online, like I said earlier, I did mention the water damage and I did take photos of it, so the people that were looking at my listing were aware. I decided to post that online for $50, and within an hour I had someone at my house and they picked up the TV stand. I actually had a lot of inquiries and a lot of people were really interested in it. I just sold it to the person that could come to my house the quickest, and they were also the person that reached out to me first. For the TV, I didn't get any footage of it. It was kind of a smaller TV, but it did have a built-in CD player. I was tempted to keep it, but we just have no place to put it and really no use for it, so I did sell it. I looked online for how much that same TV is going for, and brand new from Best Buy, it was around $150, so I decided to sell it for $80. The TV did take a little bit longer to sell. I had someone interested and they picked it up the next day, but I still feel like that's really fast. So in total, with supplies and everything, I made a little less than $100. I was really excited about it, and I decided to put that money towards a new TV stand that I really did like, and a new TV stand that my husband liked as well. I do want to warn you guys, I buy things from Facebook Marketplace all the time, and it is so difficult because sometimes people won't post quality photos. So I don't think there's anything wrong when you buy something to just say, I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna make sure it's up to quality, and if it's not, just don't buy it. I was just really excited to have the project. This is something that I want to be doing in the future. I think it is a really good side hustle. I've been doing it here and there with things that I don't really need. I've been selling, and I've been able to make a decent amount of money. Like I said earlier, I want all new furniture, and so all the furniture that I'm going to be selling is going to go towards new items for our home. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my video. I hope you learned something. If not, I'm sorry. I had a lot of fun doing this, and it was really nice to make some extra money as well. And it's really fun to create something that someone else wanted in their home. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.